So in our previous class, we were reading the comment of Ibn Battah, rahimahullah ta'ala. He mentioned, فَاعْتَبِرُوا يَا أُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ فشتان بين هؤلاء العقلاء الذين مريت قلوبهم بالغيرة على إيمانهم والشح على أديانهم وبين زمان أسبحنا فيه والناس نحن منهم وبين ظهرانيهم. Pay attention and reflect, O people of sound intellect, O people of insight, yani insight in the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, that there's a great difference, a great and vast difference between those intelligent individuals, referring to the companions, referring to the tabi'in and the likes, radiyallahu anhum, those whom their hearts were full of al-ghairah for their faith, and their hearts were full of al-shuh for their religion. So this is no doubt a beautiful trait and a wonderful statement for one to reflect and to ponder over. There's a great difference between them and between a time that has come and people that we are from them and amongst them. And he's mentioning about his time, rahimahullah ta'ala. Again, he died in the year 387. Again, he died in 387. Even in the previous comment that we had read that he mentioned with regards to the first statement in this portion that we're reading from the statement of Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, that he mentioning in his time individuals that had begun to mock the Sunnah and to belittle the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to brag and boast about how they will be in opposition to the narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, referring to the different affairs that occurred from blind following the madhahib and using the different qiyas and the likes in order to misinterpret the narrations and in reality to deny them and to not apply them. And this is something that became well known until many of them, they were considered from the great fuqaha, or they were from the great ulama, and in reality they had rejected and opposed the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a great manner and misinterpreted the foundation of the religion, the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal, and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with deviant principles that they had innovated and the likes like this, and likewise deviant principles in fiqh in order to make the narrations in accordance with the statement of their imam. And they would belie or deny or change the statements of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam or declare them to be abrogated and the likes like this if they ever found that those narrations were in contradiction to the statement of their imam. Waliyadhu billah. So this is what he's referring to. So now in these days, no doubt, what would he say about our days? Yani more than 1,000 years later. No doubt, the evil and the misguidance and the love of the worldly life has entered into the hearts of many of the Muslims. And many of them, they belittle the sunnah of their Prophet while not even knowing, or they have no care and concern for it, and they do not honor it nor do they respect it in the manner that is proper, and they prefer to blind follow their mashayikh or their madhab, even if the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is clarified to them authentically, even in Sahih Bukhari or even Muslim. Sometimes maybe one will say that it's muttafiqun alayhi, and they'll reject it or refuse it or deny it or simply not even apply it and prefer to follow their madhab or the way of their shaykh or the way of their lands or the customs of the cultures of their people. And this is all from the means and the reason for the humiliation. As for the Sahaba and the Tabi'een, muriyat qulubuhum bil ghayrati ala imanihim. As for the Sahaba wa Tabi'un radiyallahu anhum, faqad muriyat qulubuhum bil ghayrati ala imanihim wa shuh ala adyanihim. As for the companions and those after them from those noble generations radiyallahu anhum, then their hearts were full of love and honor and respect for their faith, and likewise shuh for their religion. Shuh literally it means greed. But a person who's greedy with something, meaning he will not let it go for anything. He will keep it tight and close to him and he will never let it go. So the person who has greed in his heart for $1, he will not let a penny go from his pocket without checking and without looking. If he has a partner, he's going to check him on every penny and on every dealing and every receipt. He's going to look for his dollar. He's going to look for his money, make sure that he got his very last cent in every dealing that he's doing. He's not going to let any money go away for anything or for anybody. He's stingy. He loves it. It's greedy. He keeps it close. So this is how they were with their deen. They would not let it go. They would not let it go. They would not compromise. They would not give it up. They would not just let it go for free or let people have it. They did not consider it to be something cheap or something light that you can just let it go like it's nothing. Let the commandments of Allah Azza wa Jal go out the window like they're nothing and violate them or turn away from them or not implement them or apply them or perpetrate the prohibitions of Allah Azza wa Jal as if they're nothing. As if they're nothing. Rather, these affairs here from the issues of their religion were great in their heart. They loved it. They loved it dearly, and therefore Allah loved them and aided them. And therefore Allah loved them and aided them. And if we hope to have the love of Allah, we must follow them in this affair and take them as our role models in this affair and return to what they were upon from respecting and honoring and loving the deen of Allah for the sake of Allah and loving the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his sunnah and laws and legal ways for the sake of Allah, and striving against our souls to implement that in our lives and in our households and in our families. In our lives and in our households and in our families.